Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great. Hope you're staying cool if you're somewhere warm right now. It's been hot here in where I'm from in New England, and I've been trying to stay as cool as possible. But if you're from New England, you know that a lot of houses here are really old and don't have central AC, so you have to buy the AC units, and they don't really help when it's super hot out. But I'm in my basement where it's still super hot right now. Usually it's a little bit cooler down here than it is upstairs, but it is pretty hot down here. So I'm going to try to make this video as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I have here all the things, and there's more things upstairs and with people and things that I've printed on the Saturn4 Ultra, which is what we're here to talk about, the Saturn4 Ultra. Sorry for the weird intro there to get to this point. But yeah, guys, I unboxed this guy about, I would say it's been about 2 weeks. No, it's been like a month. It's been about a month. Yeah, it's been about a month since I unboxed this. And I have printed all the things that I could think of. I've printed busts, I've printed miniatures, lots and lots of miniatures, mini helmets, keycaps for keyboards. I have printed chess pieces that came with the printer, and a airless soccer ball. If you saw my YouTube short that I uploaded recently, it's about how I got this guy. Oh my goodness, I almost dropped it. Printed on the Saturn4 Ultra. So I realized that in my original unboxing of the printer, we didn't talk about any of the actual specs on this machine, or anything about it really. It was literally just a quick unboxing, and we got this thing up and turned on, and then I threw it into this guy right, this tent, and I started printing almost immediately. I've been printing on it a lot, actually. I've printed a ton of this stuff that you see before you. There's more stuff in this box that's down here that you can't see. There's stuff upstairs on my desk. There is stuff in customers' hands from my Etsy shop. There is stuff that I sent with my cousin to Atlanta because he was here to visit. And yeah, I mean, I've been literally printing on this thing nonstop until just recently when I really started to slow down, mainly because I've started to run low on resins. But that's besides the point, guys. Let's go ahead and start talking about this guy and what I think about this. So if you can't tell by the title, hopefully the title I'm using is the title I'm thinking about. This isn't so much a review. It's going to be more of my thoughts on this printer and how I use it and how it works and all the things compared to an FDM printer. The reason it's not a review, but it kind of sort of is a review, is because this is my first and only resin printer that I've had for more than 2 days. And it would be very unfair to you guys for me to review this without having prior experience with resin printers. So it's going to be a kind of review, kind of me just talking about the things that are awesome on this thing that I've liked. And yeah, so without any more randomness, let's clean this table up a little bit and let's start talking about it. Alright guys, we got the resins out of the way. Didn't really clean any of this stuff up because I want to talk about it. So, I want to start off by saying sorry for not including any details about this printer. So let's start with it. Let's start with some details about it. So it's a Saturn4 Ultra. It was on I don't know if it still is on pre-order. When you're watching this, it might be a different price. But on pre-order, I believe still today. Let's make sure I'm not misquoting here. Gotta check. I'm pretty sure it still is, but you never know. Oh, it went up. Oh, no, it's still, yeah, it's the same price. I'll buy another one. So it is $3.99.99 dollars because America. But I believe the price that was on there, because I didn't really look at it, was $5.49 after the pre-order special is over. I don't know when that will be, but it will eventually be $549.99 at some point. So the build volume on this guy is something that I will put here. I believe it's 218 by 1 220 by 220. 218 by 122 by 220. Apologies. It'll be here anyways. Which is, I believe, 40 millimeters shorter than the Saturn4Ultra. I believe the height-wise, it's a little bit shorter. I don't know why they did that. I think that it should always be bigger or the same size at least, but I think because it's cool flip-up lid and the tilting bat, they were like, you know what? Taking that away. Anyways, no, I don't know why they did it. Also, this video isn't sponsored by anybody except for me, myself, and I, and my time. I come from FDM printing. This is my first. If you were part of the unboxing, I mean, if you watched the unboxing video, you know that this is my first resin printer that I've had for longer than 2 days. You know the story. If you want to experience that, you can click somewhere on the screen. Will be a link to that video, and then I hope you join us back here after you watch that. But yeah, guys. So I come from FDM printing, which is why I don't think it would be fair for me to give you guys a review on this machine based on my limited knowledge that it's just on this machine. So I haven't tried any other printers. I can't compare quality of other printers to this. I can't really say that this is better than anything because I don't really know. So what I will talk about is how awesome this thing is. I mean, coming from FDM printing, you get some really nice prints. Especially using a 0.2 millimeter nozzle, you can get some nice prints where it looks resin printed. However, they're not, because I have experienced resin printers. So those people who say that have never had a resin printer or have bad eyesight, because I mean these miniatures are incredibly detailed. I can't even begin to tell you how detailed these things are. I mean, not to mention the busts that I've printed, the larger miniatures, these chest pieces. This is all nuts. All right, I mean, completely crazy. I didn't realize printers were this nice. Printer has a tilting bat, which I guess helps with peeling off of the little clear sheet in there, the PFA sheet, PFA, FEP, ACF. I don't know what it's whatever it comes with. I'll have whatever it is here. And it literally just tilts, the print comes off, goes back on, tilts, print comes off, and then it builds layer by layer, you know, like any printer, except it does it all at the same time instead of having to go woo. And I thought that a kilogram of resin would be significantly less than a kilogram of filament, which it's probably not measured the same way because one's liquid, one's a solid. But it seems like they last me just around the exact same amount of time from what I have seen, a full roll versus a full thing of resin. All of these resins except for one of them were all Sunblue resins. The blacks, the grays, these darker gray ones, these little chest pieces, I'll have close-ups of most of these, are actually done with Elegoo's 8K water washable resin. These particular ones were done on the slow setting or the low speed setting on the printer. I keep pointing behind me, and I gotta tell you guys, this is crazy. I can't, until it gets to like the top of the prints, I can't see layer lines. Like, it's wild. It's not only till I get to the top of prints that I start to see the lines, but it's just wild, right? This is crazy to me. I do have a couple of things here where I tested the difference in like the speeds to see if there's a quality difference, but that's not to say that I didn't have failures on a quite regular basis. I mean, this Master Chief is half of Master Chief. It failed. It is what it is. I saw that this was coming. This flappy was coming up. It was still printing. Because it was the way it was oriented. It was oriented this way. So if this was facing out for some reason, and the camera didn't catch it, so it kept printing and printing until I came down and looked at it. And I was like, hey, this ain't right. So I stopped it. Which brings me to the AI camera. The camera is cool. It's nice to have. I love having my cameras on my K1 Max and on my P1S. They're awesome. The P1S one doesn't really do anything. But the K1 does stop the print if it detects too much stringing, or if it doesn't detect that things are on the build plate anymore, or whatever. It does sometimes work. This one did work once, I think it was one time where it stopped the print and it was an actual failure, but other than that, it would print. It would say it was printing, and then nothing would be on the build plate, and it wouldn't stop. So I think with software adjustments, they can get the AI working, get it to a point where it can detect if nothing actually sticks to the build plate, so it stops printing after it gets to a point where it can see the build plate and see that there's nothing there, and then it can just stop the print, and then that way it doesn't just continue to go and then finishes, and then you come down here and it, which is another thing, like Elegoo, like there should be a little bit of ambient light in there, or you should include a camera that can actually do night vision, which would be super useful if it could do night vision, because it's a black covering inside of a dark machine inside, and the lights are off, so you can't see anything. There's no way that the camera can see anything inside the vat as that's happening. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this thing. I damaged the FEP sheet. FEP sheet? ACF? PFA? I don't know what it's called. PFA, I think. Towards the end of the life cycle of what it recommends on the printer itself. I don't know if that's accurate, or if I should just wait until prints aren't good anymore, or if I should just change it when it recommends it. I don't really know. I just changed it because it got a hole in it. Luckily, thank the 3D printing gods, there was no resin spilled on the screen. The hole was actually covered by a small piece of support that I'm assuming was what caused the hole in the first place, but it tore into it, and it just stayed there, and it kind of acted as a stop for the resin to not flow out. Luckily, I did notice it almost immediately after printing, because I saw that there was a piece of a print that didn't print right. I don't have the print here. But yeah, I ended up just emptying it out, and then as I was cleaning it, I saw this little piece of support sticking out of the vat, and I looked on the other side, and sure enough, it was sticking all the way through. So I took it out. Funny story about this, since we're on this. I tried to make a video on how to do the change, because I figured, this is new. It'd be nice for people to know, especially people who are like me, who've never had a resin printer before and had to watch videos of people doing it on older machines. It works really. You can record really good video when you press the record button. So there's a whole video of me talking about how I'm going to do this one thing, and then nothing, and then a video of me saying that I didn't do anything because I failed to hit record. So that's on me. That video will probably never be released, but yeah, huge failure on my part. I apologize, guys. That would have been a super cool tutorial. Like, I had an overhead angle that was perfect. It was set up really good, and I didn't hit record. So I apologize about that. All right, let's talk about my favorite subject when it comes to 3D printers. Oops. And that is ease of use. So how plug and play is this? It's extremely plug and play. Based on everything that I have seen for a lot of other 3D printers, there's a lot of calibration that needs to take place. A lot of leveling your build plate, putting resin in it, and then running calibrations on it. I did have to do calibrations on this machine. However, out of the box, I was able to print. I got an actual print right out of the box, which was... It's not here because I left it upstairs. It's essentially, it's the Rook. The Rook that comes on all Elegoo machines from what I know. It printed successfully with some black... Ooh, that's broken. With some black Sunlu water washable resin. And it came out. I thought I wasn't going to... I thought, it's not going to work. I need to do all kinds of things. And no, sure enough, it printed it. Printed it beautifully, by the way. And I had no problems taking it off the build plate. It was perfect from the get-go. But as all things, it can be better. And we made it better. So, I ran too many tests I think I was overthinking this whole resin 3D printer thing just a little bit too much. The Saturn 4 Ultra does make it super easy, so there's only a handful of settings that you need to change so that it fits the resin that you're using. And then it does have the calibration ability on it to calibrate the resin, so you put like, which wasn't really very well explained. Essentially what you need to do in the slicer Chitu box or light sheet, those are new to me, is you need to add either 4 things on the build plate, 6 things on the build plate, or 8 things on the build plate. And there are some really useful guides on printables. Was it printable? I believe it's printables. Had some really nice guides where somebody designed something that you could load onto Chitu box, and it'll actually separate everything out, so you can just throw things in and then align them to those little open cubbies, so that it'll match the settings on here depending on whether it's 4, 6, or 8. Those are the options that you have for resin calibration tests on this guy right here, which was news to me that you can do more than 4, because originally I thought it was only 4. All the videos that I had seen up until that point was just 4. So that's, I don't know if it's maybe because we didn't read the directions, because as soon as I opened the manual, sure enough, it says in there that if you hit the little button in the middle, it'll add 2 every single time until you get to 8, and then it goes back to 4. So, bit of a learning curve. Knew that I was going to be. It's my first resin printer. But had I read the manual, I would have had a lot more information. So again, ease of use. I say it's super easy. Like, you literally take this guy out of the box, throw some resin in it, and print. And it will work. I mean, your prints might not be the best, but it will print. It printed pretty nicely for me, actually. And I have to say, print quality-wise, I don't see a difference between the resins. The 8K resin versus, for example, say this ABS-like resin, I don't see a difference. I've tried to see, the detail is different. It looks exactly the same to me. So I don't know if I'm just crazy or what. It looks exactly the same. This one is a bad example because I didn't wash this properly. But like if I grab this guy that's nice and washed, and this guy that was also nice and washed, I feel like this ABS like water washable resin has much more detail than this 8K resin does. I don't know if that's just because 8K resin isn't. This is 12K resin, 12K printer, I believe, and this is 8K resin, so I don't know if I need a higher quality resin, and this is it. I don't know. I haven't done my homework, as you can see, but it's cool. I mean, even the regular resin, this black Sunlu resin, still looks. These two look just as nice, but the 8K resin doesn't look as nice. I don't know if it's because it's 8K resin and I should be using a higher type of resin. I don't know. If you know, more than happy to leave a comment down there, and I will look into that. So then I wanted to test the high speed mode versus the low speed mode, and I used the same resin, same model. This one is fast. So this is the fast one. Let's put this here. And this one is the slow. So I have 2 of them, exact same model, exact same pose. The only thing that was changed was the speed on the machine. Exposure settings, everything like that was exactly the same on both of them. And I can see a small difference between printing it slow versus printing it fast. And that is, the layer lines are just slightly harder to see. I feel like the detail is exactly the same. There might be a little bit more detail on this guy, but in all honesty, to save you the amount of time that this saved me, I don't think it matters. These 2 pieces together, so these guys right here, took 2 hours and 56 minutes. This one on low speed with the base took 3 hours and 58 minutes. So it saved me an hour. It's an hour of time that saved to do it just the fast way versus the slow way, and the amount of detail is not, it's not really that visible via naked eye. At least I can't tell the difference. So let's get all of these models off the table. 1 second. All right, guys. So, sorry. So my final thoughts on the Saturn4 Ultra. I think it's a great printer. It's, again, keep in mind this isn't really a review. This is more or less me just talking about all the things that I've done with it so far. I do think it's a cool printer. I have to compare it to other brands to see, you know, what the difference would be. I have to like kind of, I have to kind of have more than one resin printer to really give you guys a real review and a real explanation of everything. But now everything that I get is going to be essentially compared to this guy. So hopefully any other printer that I ever get, again, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I don't even know if I'm ever going to get another resin printer. This might be my only one for a couple of years. But I'll have something to compare new models to, or new or different model printers to. So if there's anybody out there who has any recommendations on some resin printers, I'd be happy to look into them. I don't really know if I'd be able to get them, but sorry, I'm like kind of like sitting in the air because I forgot to move my chair over. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to try a new printer sometime down the line. I'm just going to say that. I'd be more than happy to try a new printer sometime down the line and compare it to the Saturn4 Ultra. But again, guys, this isn't a review. It's more or less just my thoughts and experiences with this guy. Yeah, I had my fair share of failed prints, but most of the time it was something that I could have or couldn't have controlled. So a setting that I might have tweaked a little bit too far in terms of exposure, or the fact that it was super hot or super humid down here and I tried to print and it didn't really work. Again, both things I can control. I could have just not printed that day, but I didn't really know. Again, this is my first resin printer. I'm learning. But yeah, if you guys like the video, please do give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Well, not really. I really like to see the thumbs up on videos that I make. It's a nice little... if you guys enjoy the content, please do subscribe. I will be making videos a little bit more regularly. I have a couple of things planned for the different types of resin that I've been using and comparing water washable versus your regular alcohol-based wash. I have a video planned for that. And I will keep making shorts. It seems like you guys really enjoy those. I will try to figure out a way to make these videos into shorts, but I don't know if I'd be able to do that very, very well. So again, thank you to all you guys. It's 252 of you guys. It's insane to me that 252 people are interested in what I have to say about printers. People asking me questions and things. I appreciate you guys, all of you guys. Sometimes I might not have an answer, but I promise you I will try to do my best to find out for you guys. Again, if you like the video, you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe, please do hit the like button, and please turn on your notifications. It doesn't help me just yet because I'm still just starting off on YouTube, but I know down the line it might matter. And then maybe down the line that'll help me get other printers in here so we can look at them, play with them, and then return them, or I don't know, do some cool stuff with them. Who knows? I am going to restart up the Spider-Man 2099 armor build. Finally, getting back to that. Hopefully soon. I'm going to start printing the bottom half and then getting back into reassembling the top half because it all kind of fell apart. So, thanks again, guys. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the reason why I do this, and because I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to come down here and make videos of me looking into a camera and pretending there's people there. So again, guys, have a good night, or good day, good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching this video. I hope you have a great whatever that is, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.